And welcome back to the Brian Clay Chronicles. We have a special guest with us today from MUTV1 Black Thought, a program that I know many of you watch. Reverend Noel Hutchison. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing quite well, sir.
I've been wanting to do this for a while with you, and I'm so glad that you came. Thank you so much.
It's my honor.
No, it's an honor. And before we get started, we want to say hello to our good friend Wendy Thomas. Your cousin, right?
Cousin, well, you know, play cousin. Good to see you, girlfriend.
Hey, Wendy Thomas. Wendy is, I've been a fan of Wendy for many moons, and but that goes into another subject.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it does. The mayoral election. We had Reverend Whalum on earlier, who is said that he's thinking about running. Jim Strickland has already announced. City Councilman Harold Collins has mentioned that he may run. Police Director of the Police Association, not director, Michael Williams, who was very vocal during the pension crisis, said he may run. What have you? What do you think?
Well, on what I do on Black Thought, and the name itself kind of explains our thrust. We say that we think, we say that we analyze, and so when I look at this race, I'm kind of going to be a little out of the box. Okay. I'm not as concerned as the specific players, but I look at it, my background in undergrad was sociology and American studies, double major, so you know, sociology kind of looks at why things are the way they are. American studies is at the midpoint between sociology and, let's say, a pre-law degree. Right. So it looks at government and looks at sociology. So I look at the why and I look at how to fix it. Okay. So I'm looking at Memphis, I'm looking at where we are, I'm looking at where we could be. Mm-hmm. And so when I look at this race, unfortunately, I feel like it's more of the same. Here's why. Many of the persons that are running and thinking about running have run before, and then some of the persons who have gone out there thus far are not saying anything or not proving to say anything that's different than what we have so far. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is, for the voter, you have to begin to ask yourself this question. What is the job description of mayor? And what are the needs of the city? And so those two things ought to also determine who you vote for and what a viable candidate looks like. And I think what happens so often with us is that we vote on the emotion of who we like. You know, I like Harold Collins. I know Harold Collins. Right. I know Reverend Whalum. Right. I know every person that is in this race or who will be in this race, with the exception of Mike Williams and Jim Strickland. I can say I know them. Several of them, I have their numbers on my phone right now. Right. But do I necessarily think that they would be the best person for mayor? That's up in the air. Because
who do you think would be? I mean, and you mentioned that you're not necessarily, and that's a great way of looking at the mayor or handicapping the mayoral election, not the personality. But what type of person do you think should be mayor?
Well, first of all, let me answer my own question.
Okay.
When you look at this race, the mayor's position is one of administrative position because it's the executive branch of government. Right. So it runs the city, it provides vision to the city, and in providing that vision, it also works with the city council, which is the legislative portion of government, in order to provide goods and services and shape how the citizens live and breathe in the city. Right. And so when you look at that, then you start to ask yourself the question, who's best suited? And the second thing I look at is, with all these people running in the race, that unfortunately, the way I see it right now, and you may disagree or agree, AC is going to win.
It troubles me that might be true, but I think that might happen. Just looking at the numbers, and one of the things that I've kind of seen, and it's not the most politically correct thing to say, but it seems like because of the dearth of political leadership that we have in this community, that Memphis has become dumbed down when it comes to electoral politics. What's your opinion?
That's the whole process across the board.
Okay.
And it's even worse here because when you consider the fact that people rail against ballots, for example, but yet ballots still work.
Yeah, which I don't.
And when you look at the fact that 16% of the voting registered voters actually vote, so that means 84% of the people are disgusted and won't vote, and yet when you have the political machinery in place, they focus on the ones that do vote, and they don't galvanize the ones that don't vote. And people don't vote for a reason.
Right.
And that's because they're kind of disgusted at the process. And so when you look at that, and when you start wrestling with that, you ask yourself, how do you solve this problem? This is a city where right now, 0.08% of the net business receipts generated in the city that's about 65% black come from black folk. So when you have no economic power, you can't help yourself as much with political power, and you stay out of power, even though you have black faces in these positions. And so those are some of the things that need to be corrected to help to shift the city, and the persons you vote for need to help with that shift.
We've got about 20 seconds left. I'll ask you the same question I asked Reverend Whalum. As a pastor, what is your, I guess, ecumenical opinion when you're talking to parishioners that are suffering through some of the social ills that are happening here in Memphis?
I tell them keep the faith. I tell them that we have to look toward more creative solutions. And I also tell them that as a pastor and also as a Christian, we need to be part of the solution. Because the Bible says seek the peace of the city where you live, because when you seek it, that city will prosper and you will prosper as well.
Black Thought, Reverend Noel Hutchison, you want to give a plug out to your own program?
All right, Black Thought, check us out on the M1 TV network, Mondays and Wednesdays, 10:30 a.m. at m1tvnetwork.com. Also, you can go by my website, noelhutchinson.com. That's NOELHUTCHINSON.com. Thank you.
We have political consultant Brett Thompson and then the CEO of the Tri-State Defender, Brunell Smith, right after this. Bye-bye.
L3 Media is the Mid-South's premier videography and photography company, specializing in capturing all of life's greatest moments. Whenever you need talented and professional service for your events or business, L3 Media is the company for you. You can contact us at all of our social media sites. You can like us on Facebook, check out our website, follow us on Twitter, or always feel free to email us. We are L3 Media. Give us a call today.